So you're thinking about moving to the Des Moines area. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about some of the things that you might want to consider before moving here, some of the reasons not to move here, some of the negative things. So let's get into that right now. If this is the first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in the Des Moines area, then you're going to want to tap subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current market conditions in the Des Moines area. My name is Andre. I'm with the Des Moines Iowa real estate team, and we get calls from people like you every day. So whether you move it in 9 days or 9 months, give me a call. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Des Moines area. So the first thing, Iowa is mostly rural. When most people think of Iowa, you think of farmland and corn, and that's mostly true. A large percentage of Iowa is made up of farmland. So there's a lot of flat land around here, and that leads to several negative things about the area. First thing being the geography. So if you're coming from a place where you may have like Florida where there's oceans, or Colorado where there's mountains, or you're not going to find that around here. We have some rolling hills. The topographical areas are very pretty. We have lots of great parks and things like that. But if you're looking for rock climbing and snow skiing and surfing or things like that, if you're coming from places where there's oceans or mountains, you're not going to have that here. There's nothing around here like that. We have a couple of hills that you can ski on. You could barely call them hills. So you can go skiing. There's cross-country skiing that you can do around here. There's snowmobiling. So there are things to do, but not like there are in like Colorado or California or Florida or places like that. So another one of the bad things about this being such a rural area and lots of crops and trees and stuff like that is that Des Moines area has got lots of allergies. The Allergy and Asthma Foundation of America does a study of over 100 million people, and Des Moines ranks number 8 out of 100 cities with the toughest places to live with allergies and allergens and pollen count and stuff like that. I personally don't have that problem, and when I do, it's easily fixed by just taking a Claritin once a day. So every once in a while, like every other year or so, I have a problem with that. So I don't have a problem with that, but a lot of people do. So if you are one of those people who struggle with allergies or pollen makes, you have a problem with that, then the Des Moines area might not be for you. My mother-in-law struggles with that big time. When the corn tassels, she can't even go outside. Her eyes itch. She says they just, makes her want to claw her eyes out, scratch her eyes. So if you've got those sort of problems, then Des Moines area might not be for you. So another big negative is how boring it is here, okay? There's not much of a nightlife. There's not a lot of things to do outside. If you're used to places with big cities with lots of entertainment acts, a lot of things to do, a lot of nightlife and bars and stuff like that, you're not going to find that around here. I talk a lot about the things that you can do here. We have some of the best farmers markets in the area. Des Moines Farmers Market downtown is one of the best in the United States. Great, state fair. It's kind of a more casual, laid back kind of family atmosphere here in the Des Moines area and most of the Des Moines area, the suburbs where I think you're going to want to live. If you want to live in the downtown area, there is some things to do. But if you are coming from a place like maybe Chicago, or I said it earlier, San Francisco, New Orleans, New York, big cities where a lot of entertainment acts are, easy to find, you're not going to find a lot of that here. What you're going to find is family atmosphere type things to do, community things like farmers markets and, community bands at the community centers like in Johnston and Ankeny. A lot of fun things to do, but they're all geared towards family and a casual, kind of a laid back atmosphere. So it's a great place to raise a young family if you're looking for exciting nightlife. Some of the big, maybe comedians and some of the music entertainers are going to skip over this area. And so if you like that kind of thing, or maybe you like professional sports, we don't have any professional sports teams. You're going to have to go to Minneapolis, Chicago. You're going to have to drive 3 or 4 hours. Chicago's 5 hours from Des Moines, and then Minneapolis, I think, is 3 or 4 hours. Kansas City, those type places will have some of the professional sports and some of the nightlife that you might want. But that is a long drive, so that's a negative. It can be very boring here for people who are looking for stuff like that. So if you're one of those people, Des Moines area might not be for you. So if these negative things are not scaring you too much and you're still looking to move to this area, give me a call. My contact information is going to be in the description. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Des Moines area. So another one of the things that the rural area and the flat landscape and the farmland, another negative that comes with that is bugs. We've got plenty of bugs in the spring, summer, and you know, there sometimes, you know, I live in the country, and so I call them like plagues. One year we had tons of grasshoppers. They were actually eating the screens on my windows. It was crazy. Turns out I had nylon screens. You get the metal screens, it's no big deal. This past year, it was the flies. We had so many flies. I don't know how they were getting into my house. But anyway, flies. You know, you got mosquitoes and ticks and things like that. Again, I'm from South Louisiana. We had way more bugs in South Louisiana than they do here. I don't consider that a major problem, but a lot of people do. In the fall, when they start to plow the ground, we get those no-see-ums. I don't know if you've ever heard of those. There's little bitty, like gnat-sized bugs, and they bite, which are very aggravating because you can't see them. Anyway, bugs. We do have bugs here in Iowa, and if you are, you know, if that's a problem for you, then you may not want to live here. Again, it's not that bad for me. I actually think it's a welcome change from the mini bugs that we had in South Louisiana. So another one of the negative things related to being in a rural area and flat farmland is, you know, we're going to talk about the weather. The weather is probably one of the worst things people talk about here. I personally love it. You'll hear me talk about the weather all the time in all of my videos because most of the time it's pretty good. We have some harsh winters. It gets down, you know, the average temperature is between 20 and 40 degrees in the winter. Today is a kind of a warm day. It's like 45 degrees out here. It's very, and it's wintertime. And you know, it's been foggy lately. Anyway, extreme winter, it gets down to like 10 degrees. And one of the things that the rural area contributes to being even colder is that there are no trees. This is the prairie land, so you got lots of strong winds, and you know, you got a wind chill. So it can often be 10 to 15 degrees colder because of the wind chill here in Iowa and in Des Moines. So the extreme weather conditions, especially in the winter, is definitely a big negative. It's probably the biggest negative, in my opinion, to living in this area. A lot of people also talk about the humid and hot summers. I'm from South Louisiana. The summers here are not that hot to me, but for most people, it gets hot. It's like, it can be 95 degrees, it can be humid, and it can, you know, the summers can also be hot for most people, for a lot of people. Personally, I love spring, summer, and fall, and most of the winter. But anyway, cold winters, definitely a big negative for you. You know, that creates icy conditions on the roads. We've got weather days where it's, you know, there's sleet and snow and, you know, wintry mix on the roads, which can be very dangerous. We are very well prepared for those kind of conditions. We have plenty of snow plows that get out on the roads before you get on the road to go to work. So we have great cities that take care of that in the Des Moines area, and so it's going to be taken care of, and mostly you're going to be safe. You just have to be careful and you have to be prepared for the harsh winters. So quick story about how cold it does get here in Iowa. It was the dead of winter one time, and I was at my mother-in-law's house, and so I was over there and I needed something in my truck. So I got all dressed up because it was probably negative 10 degrees. And so I got all dressed up, put my jacket on, I had long johns and everything. I had, you know, and I put on a hat and went out to my truck, because I forgot something in my truck. It was probably, I think it's probably, I don't know, 20, 30 yards away from the back door my truck was. Went to the truck, got what I needed, and went back in. By the time I got inside, my ears were so cold, I swear I felt like if I had touched them, they would break off. It was so cold. The wind chill was probably negative 30. So it does get, you know, that cold every once in a while. And like I said, we live out in the country, and the wind is quite strong out here in the country. So anyway, kind of a funny story. I did have a hat, but it didn't cover my ears. That is the last time I made that mistake. So another one of the negatives is the property taxes. We have high property taxes here in the Des Moines area. Our cost of living is relatively low. You know, your groceries, your gas, your transportation, stuff like that is relatively low. We have one of the lower cost of living average in the nation. But as far as property taxes go, they're pretty high, right? So you're going to want to check it in your specific town that you're going to want to move into. The towns that I would suggest that you move to, like Johnston, West Des Moines, Ankeny, you know, those type places are going to have high property taxes. Now look, the property taxes are going to give you a lot of great things. We have fantastic schools in those areas, some of the best in Iowa and some of the best in the nation as far as schools. And a lot of the property taxes go to pay for those schools and some of the great city services that are given to those areas. So part of the reason that they have those great schools and great services is because of the property taxes. But you're going to want to consider how high the property taxes are, because they are very high in those areas. So another one of the negative things is politics. Iowa, we have the first caucus of the year. So when it's an election year, the politics are crazy. We get lots of phone calls from people trying to take surveys and trying to get you involved in politics, whether you lean one way or the other. I'm not really interested in politics, so I just hang up the phone and I don't pay attention to it. But Iowa is a big state for politics because we're the first caucus. So everybody's looking to Iowa when we're trying to decide who the next president is going to be. It's a big issue. So every 4 years, that's a big deal. A lot of the candidates always come to the Iowa State Fair. Iowa State Fair is huge, one of the largest in the world. And so they come because that's right, it's in August, right before the election. And so they come here and do their politicking, and that can be very annoying, especially if you want to just kind of stay to yourself like I do and go ahead and vote and just leave me alone. I want to decide for myself. They want to help you decide. So that can be a negative. It can be aggravating. Lots of political signs and political commercials and political phone calls. So big negative. Another one of the negatives is the summer construction. So winters are very harsh on the roads and road conditions, and so they damage the roads in the winter, and they can't do a lot of road work in the winter. So all of the construction happens in the summer, and it does a lot of damage to these roads. So we're always having lots of construction. I've not had a whole lot of problems getting around. Of course, I can choose the times. I'm self-employed as a realtor, so I can go and choose the times that I'm out on the road. So I don't have a whole lot to worry about with traffic and construction, but there is a lot of construction, so you're going to want to consider that, especially in certain areas, and I can help you with that too. We'll look for areas that are okay for your commute and for your traffic situation, and I'll help you find some great places to go. So anyway, by the way, if you're thinking about moving to this area, give me a call. My contact information is going to be in the description. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to this area. If none of these negatives scare you very much, there's a lot of positives too. Check out my other videos for those. So another one of the negatives is you're definitely going to have a car to get around here in the Des Moines area. The transit system is not that great. If you're coming from a big city where there's, subways or a great transit system, we don't have all of that. So you're definitely going to need a car, and you're going to have to drive most of the places that you want to go. If you live in a small town like Ames, they have got a great transportation system there called Ride. Again, it's not like New York, but you still should probably have a car, but you can get around on that system. We do have the DART system, Des Moines Area Transit System, here in the Des Moines area, but you're not going to be able to get around without having a car. So that can be a negative. Each little community can be in and of itself, but you don't have great transit systems here, so that can be a big negative. So if these negative things are not scaring you too much and you're still looking to move to this area, give me a call. My contact information is going to be in the description. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Des Moines area. All right, so there you have it. Those are some of the worst things about living in the Des Moines area, about this area, that you're going to want to know and consider before moving to this area. So look, if there's some other things that you think maybe you're from here, or maybe you lived here in the past, and you think there are some other things that I didn't mention, there probably are plenty of other negative things about living in this area. Leave it in the comment section below. Let's discuss it. Let's let everybody who is looking to move here know what some of the other negative things are. Or maybe you think this is a fantastic place and you want to tell me all about the other positives. I'd love to hear about that too. So leave me a comment in the section below.